It's a very important year for Kaivalyadham, obviously, because not many institutions can complete 100 years. To have a very purposeful existence of 100 years to spread such a big message, to create such a great amount of ecosystem in which now millions must have benefited, not necessarily only by coming to Kaivalyadham, but because I said through the ecosystem that was created through the Kaivalyadham. And therefore this is a very, very important year for all of us. Right now, we are in the midst of the country, one country says it's a special operation, other countries, the rest of the world says it's a war. The other area in which now this is burning, nobody calls it war or anything else, but it's also burning. So we are in the midst of a major crisis in the world, wherein the countries are equipped with huge amount of arsenal. And the advancement of technology means you can fight war not by going to the war field, but by just pushing a button, everything will be destroyed, even without that button being fully pushed. And that's the power of technology which is now overpowering us. And the challenge is, how do you save the world from this imminent disaster? There's other challenge which I always keep saying is climate change, which again is a similar challenge. Though climate change is a slow death. It is not something that will die immediately, but you will definitely die, and you are dying slowly every day without knowing it. But where is the cause of all the things? If you really look at it, the wars are declared or caused by some individual. He may be head of the state, head of the government, or somebody non-state actor. But he's the one who actually causes and triggers the war in the whole world, which threatens the entire civilization. Here in climate change, human-induced, so many people are contributed to it, it's not one. But again, the problem is the individual. So unless you change that individual, you are not going to solve any problem of the world. And how do you change an individual? That's a big issue. And that's where our traditional knowledge plays a key role. Many centuries ago, few thousand years ago, our ancestors realized that we must make sure that individual is the cause of a problem, individual will be the solution. Change the individual for his own good to begin with. Because individuals are born for salvation. They must attain moksha. But to do that, they must have a way of doing that, the pathway to do that. And therefore, yoga was discovered as one of the ways to find out how one can change himself or herself. But in the larger process, make sure that you change for your better, of your own good, but don't cause damage to others. Because you could be the cause of the problem. At the same time, we have Maha Upanishad, which talked about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Incidentally, this was the theme of India G20. And I was just asking him, I was handling G20 for a long time. And then I realized that I need a much better person than me to do this job. And the present governor of Reserve Bank of India became the G20 Sherpa after me. And then, when he became RBI governor soon thereafter, I again took from him, because by then everything was made properly. I gave it to him, not necessarily in the best form, he made it a greater form, and then I also handled it for some time after that. But the theme of that G20 is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. When did you hear it for the first time, this whole concept? Maybe 3,000-4,000 years ago. When there was no globalization. When there was no one called, the nations were not born. The concept of state was yet to take shape. And that time we realized Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Why? Because we realized unless we treat each other as part of a larger family, we will not be happy. So person will be happy only when the family remains happy, and when family can become happy only when you treat them as a community. And therefore this idea was born. So just imagine, yoga is a great gift of India to the world through this process of thoughts. And then another one which is now again reinventing the whole idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So India's contribution to this whole betterment of the world through these processes is so important. And I must therefore thank Swamiji, who more than 100 years ago realized that people will not accept it because this is for the good of everybody. And unless my neighbor is also equally good like me, he will destroy me one day. Because he has that ability, potent to destroy. So I must make him better also. So therefore this whole concept of yoga was actually done by realizing I must do some scientific research on it. If I do scientific research, there will be more acceptability. I will go to Mr. Nani Krupani and tell him, please take this medicine, you will get cured. He'll first of all say, is he giving me poison or is he giving me something nectar? Why is he giving me? He doesn't have any, just now she told me I'm a chartered accountant. How can I prescribe him medicine? So he will be first and foremost any person. When you tell him something, he'll be apprehensive. He'll be wary of it. So scientific research makes acceptability a far more better idea. And therefore he decided to work on scientific research of yoga. We just saw the film. And that's a great contribution of Kaivalya Dham